What transformed Caligula, a once welcomed ruler, into one of the most notorious emperors in history? To answer that, we must journey back to the year 37 AD, when a not quite 25-year-old Caligula ascended to power. His initial reign was met with jubilation in Rome. He declared political reforms and recalled all exiles, creating an atmosphere of hope and optimism. However, the tide of goodwill soon turned. In October of the same year, a severe illness rattled Caligula, unearthing the darker aspects of his personality and setting the stage for a reign characterized by eccentricity, extravagance, and terror. Caligula developed a penchant for construction projects, the scale and nature of which varied wildly. Practical infrastructures like aqueducts and harbors were built alongside cultural edifices such as theaters and temples. Then there was the downright peculiar, like his requisition of hundreds of Roman merchant ships to erect a 2-mile floating bridge across the Bay of Bauli. And for what purpose? So he could spend 2 days galloping back and forth across it. In 39 and 40 AD, his focus shifted to military campaigns. But instead of engaging in battles, he preferred theatrical displays. One of his most infamous orders to his troops was to plunder the sea, a command that resulted in soldiers gathering shells in their helmets. His interpersonal relationships were fraught with turbulence. He was known to have tormented high-ranking senators by forcing them to run miles ahead of his chariot. He was involved in scandalous affairs with his allies' wives and was rumored to have had incestuous relationships with his sisters. His biographer Suetonius recounts an oft-repeated phrase of Caligula's, "Remember that I have the right to do anything to anybody." Physically, Caligula was tall, pale, and excessively hairy. He made it a capital offense to mention a goat in his presence. He accentuated his natural ugliness by practicing terrifying facial expressions in a mirror. He reveled in luxury, allegedly rolling around in piles of money and drinking pearls dissolved in vinegar. His eccentricity extended to his wardrobe, where he often dressed in strange clothing, women's shoes, and extravagant accessories and wigs. According to Cassius Dio, he was eager to appear to be anything rather than a human being and an emperor. To summarize, Caligula's reign was marked by a swift transition from initial optimism to ultimate tyranny. His life was a series of audacious acts, extravagant ventures, and scandalous relationships. From his peculiar building projects to his eccentric personal habits, Caligula's life and reign remain a fascinating study in the extremes of human nature and power. His story serves as a stark reminder of the potential for power to corrupt and the depths to which a person can sink when unchecked by moral and social restraints.